Hey everyone, Joe here from the Smart Workshop. Over the past few months, I've been experimenting with running large language models locally, completely self-hosted instead of relying on cloud tools like ChatGPT and others. And if you hang out in homelab and home automation circles, you probably have seen the same question come up over and over. Can I just self-host my own AI and stop using cloud services entirely? So that's what I set out to do here. Not as a benchmark chase, but as someone who already self-hosts infrastructure every day. And what I learned was this. Self-hosting AI absolutely makes sense, but only for very specific things. Let me start out with why I even went down this road in the first place. If you already run your own services, Home Assistant, Docker, monitoring, AI starts to feel like just another workload. For me, the motivations were pretty simple. I wanted privacy for my internal docs and configs. I wanted predictable costs, didn't want rate limits, and I wanted something that still worked even if the internet is down. But I wasn't trying to replace ChatGPT. I was trying to figure out where local AI actually fits in a self-hosted environment. And that distinction matters. Here's the first thing I need to clear up because it comes up constantly. The main limitation of local AI is not system RAM, it's GPU memory, VRAM, and memory bandwidth. You've got this huge system, you got like 512 gigs of RAM, and you still struggle to run any form of a LLM. Why is that? Because large language models need specific things. They need fast, wide memory access, they need large contiguous GPU memory, and to tie all that together, they need extremely high memory bandwidth. If the model can't live fully in GPU memory, performance drops fast. This is why GPUs matter so much, not just because they're fast, but because of how their memory works. Local AI is fantastic at tasks that are latency tolerant, don't require cutting-edge reasoning. For example, I use local language models for searching my own documentation repository, summarizing logs and configurations, explaining error messages, reviewing Docker Compose files, and debugging scripts and code. This is where self-hosted AI really shines. These tasks don't need the smartest and largest model in the world. They need fast access to my data and good enough local reasoning. And most importantly, my data never leaves my network. Now, let's talk about the stuff that local AI is not good at. And I'm being very honest here. Local language models struggle with long creative writing, deep reasoning problems, multimodal tasks like vision or audio, real-time conversation back and forth. It can be a bit laggy if you're used to the instant response of things like ChatGPT. That's not because local models are bad, it's because that's where hardware constraints start to show up. Once you exceed available GPU memory, the model spills out to system RAM or CPU execution and the performance just tanks. So that's really where cloud AI comes in. Let's not get that misunderstood. Cloud AI platforms are not just a ton of GPUs wired together. They use custom high bandwidth fabric to tie high power GPUs together, allowing them to pool all their VRAM together at performance levels that are absolutely impossible with consumer hardware. This brings me to the hardware question I get constantly. Can I do this on my home lab gear? The answer is yes, but with exceptions and expectations. I often refer to Apple Silicon systems as being particularly well suited for this because of their unified memory architecture. They've got pretty high memory bandwidth, very mature acceleration platform, whereas small ARM boards can run models, but they CPU only, so they're very slow. This is not about brand loyalty. It's about software ecosystems and memory architecture, really. Just because a system can load a model doesn't mean it's usable for daily work. So here's where I landed. I don't only use local AI, and I don't only use cloud AI. I use local AI for tasks that are not super time sensitive, that can kind of run in the background and churn, like generating scripts and snippets of codes and things like that. And I use cloud AI for more polished and like deep reasoning, broad tasks like that. So for local tasks, we're talking like knowledge base, summarization, planning, infrastructure help, and in the cloud, complex reasoning, creative tasks, anything multimodal. So if you're looking for image or video generation or audio generation, it's all going to the cloud. You'd be frustrated with how slow that is, even on the best local hardware. So this kind of hybrid approach gives me privacy where it matters, but power where I need it, and predictability across the board. This video isn't about convincing you to ditch cloud AI. It's about helping you decide what actually makes sense to self-host and what makes sense to run in the cloud, where, why, and when. In the next videos, I'm gonna compare real hardware. We're gonna build a private knowledge base that you can inject content into and reference with your local models. I'm gonna show you some Docker-based deployments. And along the way, I'm gonna be very honest about what works and what doesn't. So let's go beyond just the AI chatbot, and let's take this all into the world of agentic AI. AI that actually does things, not just spitting out text. We're gonna get there real soon here too. You've probably heard a lot of talk about things like OpenClaw and similar platforms like that. I'm gonna show you where those tools really shine and how you can really accelerate what you're doing in your home lab safely and securely. Hey, if you found this useful, hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already. We've got a lot more coming in this space here. You're not gonna wanna miss that. And if you're experimenting with local AI yourself, I'd love to hear about it. What are you running locally and what do you still send to the cloud? I'm Joe with the Smart Workshop, and I'll see you in the next one.